Most people spend their lives avoiding discomfort. They build their days around convenience. They choose the path that feels safe, predictable, and easy. But greatness is born in the moments that feel like chaos. It's forged in the heat of uncertainty. It's shaped by pain that most people would run from. Look at Elon Musk. He didn't create Tesla, SpaceX, or Neuralink by chasing comfort. He stepped into industries where everyone told him he would fail. He risked everything: his money, his reputation, even his health, because the mission was bigger than his fear. Discomfort wasn't an obstacle, it was the training ground. See, discomfort does something powerful to the human mind. It forces adaptation, it unlocks creativity, it exposes weaknesses and demands growth. If Musk had played it safe, he'd be just another wealthy entrepreneur. But by walking into the fire again and again, he built resilience that most people can't imagine. That's the secret. Discomfort isn't a sign you're on the wrong path. It's proof you're walking the road less traveled, the road that leads to greatness. And here's the truth. You don't need to launch rockets or build electric cars to apply this. Your version of discomfort might be starting that business you've been delaying. It might be speaking up in a room where your voice shakes. It might be getting up at 4 a.m. to chase a dream nobody else believes in. It will hurt, it will feel heavy, and most days you will question why you even started, but that's the point. The pain is the signal. It means you're growing. It means you're becoming someone who can handle more than you ever thought possible. If you want comfort, stay where you are. If you want greatness, step into the places that make your heart race and your palms sweat. Because the truth is simple, discomfort is not your enemy, it's the doorway. And every great life begins the moment you walk through it. Comfort is the enemy of growth. When you choose comfort, you choose safety, predictability, and ease. It feels good in the moment, but over time, it quietly robs you of your potential. Comfort tells you to stay in the same job, even when it no longer excites you. It tells you to skip the gym because it's easier to rest. It tells you to keep your opinions to yourself because speaking up might feel awkward. It whispers, stay where you are, don't take risks, don't push too hard. And that's exactly why comfort is dangerous, because growth lives on the other side of discomfort. Real success demands that you step into places that feel uncertain. It requires you to do the things that make your hands shake and your stomach twist. Discomfort is where you learn the skills that can't be taught in books. It's where you find out how much you can actually handle. It's where you discover strength you never knew existed. The people who achieve the most are not the ones who chase ease. They are the ones who deliberately put themselves in situations that test them. They are willing to feel awkward, to look foolish, to fail publicly, because they understand that every uncomfortable step is a step toward mastery. Think about the last time you grew as a person. It didn't happen in a moment of comfort. It happened when you were challenged. It happened when you were under pressure. It happened when you felt unprepared but acted anyway. Discomfort forces you to pay attention. It forces you to adapt, to think faster, to find solutions. It sharpens your instincts and strengthens your resilience. It is the fire that shapes you into someone greater. If you want a different life, you have to do things that feel unnatural at first. You have to walk into rooms where you don't feel like you belong. You have to start projects you don't feel ready for. You have to keep going even when it feels like you're in over your head. Because discomfort is not a sign to stop. It's a sign that you're exactly where you're supposed to be. Elon Musk chose industries full of uncertainty and potential failure. He didn't walk into safe markets where success was guaranteed. He didn't pick the easy route with predictable results. He went straight into fields where the odds were stacked against him. When most people were investing in familiar businesses, Musk was pouring everything he had into ideas that sounded impossible. Electric cars, at the time, they were considered impractical and doomed to fail. Private space exploration, many thought it was pure science fiction. Brain-machine interfaces, most couldn't even understand the concept, let alone believe in it. He didn't just choose these industries, he entered them knowing that failure wasn't just possible, it was likely. But that's what set him apart. He wasn't afraid of high risk because he saw the potential for high impact. Musk understood that real change never comes from playing it safe. It comes from aiming at problems so big they scare most people away. These industries were full of technical challenges, financial risk, and public skepticism. People laughed at him. They called him unrealistic. They said he was throwing away his fortune, yet he kept going. When Tesla was on the verge of collapse, he didn't back down, he doubled down. When SpaceX rockets exploded on the launch pad, he didn't quit, he rebuilt and tried again. Every setback became a lesson. Every failure became data, and every moment of uncertainty became fuel to push harder. By stepping into industries with massive risk, Musk forced himself into an environment where innovation was the only option. He surrounded himself with problems that demanded creative solutions. He built teams that could adapt quickly, think boldly, and move fast. The uncertainty wasn't a weakness, it was his advantage. Because when you're willing to work in spaces most people fear, you eliminate much of the competition. Musk understood that the greater the uncertainty, the greater the opportunity to create something truly revolutionary. And that's why he didn't just enter risky industries, he transformed them. Discomfort forces the brain to adapt, innovate, and grow. When you're comfortable, your brain works on autopilot. It follows the same patterns, makes the same choices, and produces the same results. But the moment you step into discomfort, everything changes. Your brain senses uncertainty. It realizes the old patterns are no longer enough, and that's when it starts searching for new ways to solve problems. Discomfort activates survival mode not in a fearful way, but in a way that demands focus and creativity. It forces you to pay attention to details you would normally ignore. It sharpens your thinking because there's no safety net to fall back on. When you face challenges you've never seen before, your brain begins building new connections. It creates fresh pathways to handle the new situation. This is how innovation is born, not in moments of ease, but in moments when you have no choice but to think differently. The human mind grows strongest when it's under pressure. It learns faster when the stakes are high. It remembers better when the emotions are intense. Every great breakthrough in history came from someone stepping into an uncomfortable situation and refusing to back down. They were forced to adapt, and in the process, they discovered solutions that didn't exist before. This is why discomfort is such a powerful tool. It doesn't just test you, it transforms you. It rewires how you think. It stretches your limits until they become your new normal. The more you step into discomfort, the more flexible and capable your mind becomes. Problems that once seemed overwhelming start to feel manageable. Situations that used to terrify you start to feel like opportunities. Your confidence grows, not because things get easier, but because you've learned how to think and act under pressure. Discomfort trains your brain to respond, not retreat. To search for answers instead of excuses, to see obstacles as stepping stones instead of roadblocks, and over time, that mindset becomes your greatest advantage. Playing it safe limits its potential and keeps you ordinary. When you choose the safe path, you avoid risk, but you also avoid growth. You might protect yourself from failure, but you also protect yourself from greatness. Safety feels comfortable, predictable, and easy to manage. It keeps you in a place where nothing surprises you and nothing changes. You follow the same routines, make the same choices, and live the same year over and over again. And while that might keep you from falling, it also keeps you from flying. The people who achieve the extraordinary are not the ones who always play it safe. They are the ones willing to take the leap, knowing they might crash before they succeed. They understand that risk is the price of a bigger life. When you always choose the safest option, you limit your exposure to new experiences. You never test how far you can go. You never discover what you're truly capable of. You stay in the shallow end while the opportunities are out in the deep water. Playing it safe means avoiding discomfort, but discomfort is where you grow. It means avoiding challenges, but challenges are where you learn. It means avoiding uncertainty, but uncertainty is where possibilities live. You can't live an exceptional life by making only the decisions that guarantee success. Some of the most life-changing opportunities will come wrapped in fear and doubt. If you reject them because they don't feel safe, you also reject the chance to evolve. Ordinary isn't bad, but it's not the dream most people have for themselves. Most people want to make an impact, to feel proud of what they've built, to leave something behind. That doesn't happen by clinging to comfort zones. It happens when you dare to risk failure in pursuit of something meaningful. When you allow yourself to step into the unknown, you open doors that safety will never reveal. And while risk carries the possibility of loss, it also carries the possibility of a life far greater than the one you have now. Resilience is built by repeatedly facing challenges head on. It doesn't grow from avoiding problems. It doesn't appear when life is easy. It is forged in the moments when you stand in front of something difficult and refuse to back down. Every time you face a challenge, you give yourself the chance to get stronger. The first time, it feels impossible. The second time, it feels heavy but familiar. The third time, you realize you can handle more than you thought. Resilience is not about never falling, it's about learning how to get back up every single time. When life tests you, it's not trying to break you. It's giving you the opportunity to discover what you're made of. Every setback, every obstacle, every failure is a chance to grow tougher. When you face problems directly, you train your mind and body to adapt. You learn to think clearly under pressure. You learn to keep moving when everything in you wants to quit. You learn that fear loses its power once you confront it. This process doesn't happen overnight. Resilience is built one battle at a time. It's built in late nights when you keep working even though you're exhausted. It's built in early mornings when you show up despite wanting to stay in bed. It's built in moments when quitting seems easier, but you choose to try one more time. Each time you face a challenge, you gain experience. That experience becomes confidence, and that confidence becomes strength. Soon, the problems that once shook you no longer feel as intimidating. You realize that you've been through worse and made it out stronger. That awareness changes how you see every future challenge. You stop fearing the hard moments and start trusting yourself to handle them. Resilience is not a gift you're born with, it's a skill you build through action. The more you step forward into challenges, the more unshakable you become. And over time, you don't just survive the storms, you learn to walk through them with unbreakable determination. Discomfort is proof you're on the right, uncommon path. Most people spend their lives chasing comfort. They want safety, predictability, and control. They avoid the unknown because it feels risky. But the truth is, the path that feels too easy is usually the path that leads nowhere new. If you feel uncomfortable, it means you're stepping outside the limits you've always known. It means you're entering a place where most people won't go, and that's exactly where growth happens. The uncommon path is filled with uncertainty. It's filled with moments that make your stomach turn and your hands sweat. It forces you to try things you've never done before. It forces you to face fears you've spent years avoiding. This is why so few people take it. They confuse discomfort with danger. They think fear means stop, when in reality, fear often means you're heading in the right direction. When you feel discomfort, it's a sign you're building new skills. It's a sign you're breaking old habits. It's a sign you're creating a version of yourself that's stronger, smarter, and more capable than before. The uncommon path will challenge you, but it will also separate you from the crowd. While others are standing still, you're moving forward. While they're repeating the same patterns, you're exploring new territory, and every step you take through discomfort expands your potential. Yes, it will feel lonely at times. Yes, it will test your patience and your belief in yourself, but it will also lead you to places comfort could never take you. You'll meet opportunities that only exist for those willing to take the harder road. You'll develop resilience that can only be forged through struggle, and you'll create a life that reflects courage instead of caution. So the next time you feel discomfort, don't run from it. Recognize it as a signal that you're walking a path most people are too afraid to take. The uncommon path is never easy, but it's the one that leads to the extraordinary. You don't need to be in tech. Discomfort applies to any life goal. You don't have to launch rockets or build electric cars to understand the power of stepping outside your comfort zone. You don't have to be an inventor or a billionaire to benefit from the lessons discomfort teaches. Whether your dream is to start a small business, get in the best shape of your life, learn a new skill, or change your career, the same principle applies. Progress begins the moment you choose to do something that feels uncomfortable. It might be waking up earlier than you want to. It might be speaking in front of people when your voice shakes. It might be applying for a job you feel unqualified for. It might be saving money when spending feels easier. It could even be having a difficult conversation you've been avoiding. The specifics don't matter. What matters is the decision to lean into the discomfort instead of running from it. Discomfort is a sign that you're stretching yourself. It's proof that you're working towards something bigger than the life you have now. It means you're building skills you don't yet have, which is the only way to grow. Every meaningful achievement requires moments of doubt and moments of fear. Those feelings are not warnings to stop. They are signals that you're moving towards something worth doing. Think about any goal you've achieved in the past. Chances are, it came with challenges. It came with days when you wanted to quit. It came with moments when you weren't sure you could do it. And yet, once you pushed through, you were stronger, more confident, and more capable than before. That same formula works for any ambition. Big or small, personal or professional, the path to success always runs through discomfort. It doesn't matter if you're building a business, running a marathon, writing a book, or starting over in a new city. The discomfort you face along the way is the training ground for the person you're becoming. And that training ground is available to anyone, no matter what their dream looks like. The journey will test your patience, courage, and belief. It will push you in ways you never expected. It will ask you to keep going long after the excitement fades. It will demand that you stay focused when results are slow and progress feels invisible. Patience will be tested when everything takes longer than you thought. You'll make plans, only to watch them unravel. You'll set timelines, only to see them stretch further and further. You'll have to learn to keep moving forward without knowing exactly when the breakthrough will come. Courage will be tested when you face moments of fear and uncertainty. You'll have to step into situations that make your heart race and your mind doubt. You'll need to act even when the outcome is unclear. You'll be called to make decisions without the comfort of guarantees, and belief will be tested more than anything, because there will be days when the vision feels distant and the obstacles feel overwhelming. There will be moments when quitting seems easier than continuing. When no one else understands your dream, you'll have to hold onto it yourself. When no one is cheering for you, you'll have to be your own voice of encouragement. You'll have to remind yourself why you started over and over again. The journey will strip away illusions and expose your limits, but it will also expand those limits if you keep going. It will shape you into someone stronger than the person who began. Patience will teach you endurance. Courage will teach you how to move through fear instead of waiting for it to disappear. Belief will teach you to trust yourself when the world gives you no reason to. And over time, you'll realize the journey wasn't just about reaching the goal. It was about becoming the kind of person who could walk through doubt, setbacks, and uncertainty and still keep moving forward. Pain is a signal of transformation, not a sign to quit. It's easy to think that pain means something is wrong, that it's a warning to stop, to pull back, to protect yourself, but not all pain is destructive. Some pain is a sign that you're breaking through old limits, that you're shedding old habits and becoming something new. Growth is rarely comfortable. When you push your body to get stronger, your muscles ache. When you push your mind to learn, it strains to understand. When you push your life toward a bigger goal, it resists before it adapts. That resistance often shows up as pain. It's the discomfort of change. It's the tension of letting go of what's familiar and stepping into the unknown. Most people run from it because they mistake it for danger. But if you quit every time you feel pain, you also quit every chance to grow. The truth is, transformation demands discomfort. It requires you to endure moments that feel heavy, uncertain, and exhausting. It asks you to keep going when your mind is telling you to stop. Pain is a teacher. It teaches you resilience. It shows you where you're still holding on to weakness. It reveals what still needs to change for you to reach your potential. Every breakthrough you've ever had in life came after a moment of struggle. Every version of yourself you're proud of was built in the fire of challenge. Pain sharpens your focus. It forces you to decide what matters enough to fight for. It strips away excuses and tests your commitment. If you can learn to see pain not as punishment, but as proof that you're in the process of becoming more, everything changes. You stop fearing it. You start using it. You understand that the discomfort you feel today is shaping the strength you'll carry tomorrow. And when you reach the other side, you realize the pain wasn't the enemy, it was the signal that you were transforming. Greatness begins where comfort ends. As long as you stay within the walls of what's familiar, you can only achieve what you've already known. Comfort keeps you safe, but it also keeps you small. It makes you repeat the same patterns, live the same days, and accept the same results. Nothing extraordinary is built in the space where everything feels